Hello and welcome back. Alright, so last time we did basically just the Wooded Kingdom, and that's where we spent the whole stream. Just in the Wooded Kingdom. So and we're not done with it yet. So I spent some time looking up what these moons here are. They're not below the observation deck. It's easier to get there from the summit path. Hello, I'm Dragon Rider Luke. I'm a Christian streamer, and I'm always up for a friendly chat about my faith. I also think that it's important that people read or hear the Word of God frequently, so the next 5 minutes or so will be a chapter from the Bible. Joshua 20. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live among them. If the Avenger of Blood comes in pursuit, the others must not surrender the fugitive because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice aforethought. They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest who is serving at that time. Then they may go back to their own home in the town from which they fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, east of the Jordan, on the other side from Jericho. They designated Bezer in the wilderness on the plateau in the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth and Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan and Bashan in the tribe of Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to these designated cities and not be killed by the Avenger of Blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. May God bless the reading of his word. Cloud Kingdom, Nimbus Arena. That's really all there is to this place. It's a tiny little kingdom. Hmm? The moon rock here is glowing too. Let's be sure to check that. Wow, visiting 3 kingdoms in a single stream. This is a tiny kingdom. I didn't even get to read its thing the first time we were here because we were just here for the boss fight with Bowser, and that's it. Cloud Kingdom, mystery above our heads. Nimbus Arena, the archaeological dig site in the clouds. Population unknown, size unknown, locals unknown, currency unknown, industry unknown, and temperature average 73 Fahrenheit. That's actually pretty warm considering how high we are. The clouds in question. It's above the Metro Kingdom. Life above the clouds. Perhaps everyone has had the experience of looking up at the clouds and imagining what it would be like to live among them. As it turns out, as fantastical as it may sound, there was once such a kingdom whose citizens looked down on the world in a fluffy, puffy paradise. Strangely floaty material. While the particles that make up a cloud are extremely small and light, researchers have recently discovered a kind of cloud-like material that one can walk on. First discovered in fossil falls, this substance can change into and hold new shapes and even support weight. The discovery prompted certain researchers to open an investigation into whether there might once have been a cloud kingdom in the sky. Symbols of peace, perhaps signifying how peaceful this place is, many doves can be found living here. Supposedly, spotting a flock of doves will grant you increased happiness. Vestiges of greatness. Once researchers started looking for places in the sky, they quickly found a large platform of the levitating substance, dubbed Nimbus Arena. Mysteriously, the land had markings that accurately showed the waxing and waning phases of the moon. Now, besides the obvious how, researchers had to question why. The site of some kind of ceremony? I didn't even realize that there were those symbols on the pedestals there. Giant cloud arches. Researchers are thus far baffled by the large cloud archway here. Some theorize that it's a kind of reticle that aligns with the moon. Some evidence suggests that the arch pulled this kingdom's moon rock to a specific location from the moon. The only certainty is that the Cloud Kingdom will continue to interest researchers for many years. Whatever else it is, it's beautiful. Showers of flowers. The investigation is concluded now and yielded few undisputed facts. But the bits of cloud that fall like flower petals here make it the most dreamlike place you'll ever visit. Trust us, pictures can't do it justice. 3 keys to the kingdom. 1. Navigate the vast sea of clouds that seems to go on forever. 2. Feel the unyielding cloud floor that won't budge no matter how hard you stomp. 3. Explore the remnants of the civilization that once existed here. And as you can see, when we have 500, we'll get our we'll get our next new access, which I believe is the last one. Lost Kingdom. The rock here is glowing too. Let's be sure to check that.
It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. Marble machine is dropping marbles today. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. There's a long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal. A long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. Marbles today. It's been a journey, but we're not on our way. There's a long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal. Long way to go, we're not ready now. Problems to solve, music is the goal.
So when we come back next time, on to the Metro Kingdom! Woohoo! The first kingdom with moons that are tied behind mini games that are probably too hard for me to finish. That's okay. I don't have to get every single moon, I just want to give a good try at them. At any rate, that's going to be all for today, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.